There we go. So I guess we'll start with introductions. I'm Kyle Holmberg from the Middleborough Gas Electric Department. I work in communications and energy services. I'm joined by Mary Beth.
Hello, Mary Beth Roberto. I am clerical team leader, and I have been here for more than 16 years.
And Denise from South Shore Community Action Council.
Good evening. I'm Denise Tadro. I'm the Energy Director at South Shore. I've been at South Shore for 23 years. And prior to the 23 years here, I did fuel assistance at Self-Help for 20 years.
Okay, thank you. So we're here to discuss some of the local area assistance programs that are available to Middleborough and Lakeville residents. This assistance covers everything from help with utility bills and heating. We'll talk about local food pantries, elderly and veteran services, and then a couple other things that the SSCAC offers. So Denise, could you give us a little background on the South Shore Community Action Council?
Well, South Shore Community Action Council has been in effect since 1965. We provide many services to from Hingham, Hull, all the way down to Bourne. And then we provide fuel assistance from the Cape for the Cape and the Islands. We did serve, I have numbers from last year already for you. Last year, we served 737 residents for fuel assistance in the amount of $498,235. We provided conservation benefits in the realm of weatherization, air sealing, burner repair and replacement. And when I mentioned burner repair and replacement and repair, I'd like to thank Middleborough because you're one of the few municipals in the state of Massachusetts that provides additional funds for those two programs. And it's truly appreciated not only by South Shore so that we can further assist Middleborough, but by your townspeople themselves. We have a transportation department. We have an early ed department. We do volunteer taxes. We do it free for our service area. And that's in effect right now. You don't even have to come in person. You can pick up the pamphlets outside our building, drop off your information. They'll be prepared remotely. You'll get a call. You can pick them up and we'll do that for free. We have a food resource program, and we have emergency assistance and case management program for anybody that needs assistance with rental or any other crisis that might be going on. I didn't know if you wanted me to go into conservation just yet. I'm trying to look at your outline here. I'm so sorry. Oh, I do
That's
have
totally
to
fine.
mention Citizens for Citizens because you also provide assistance to them in regards to Lakeville. So I guess you have some service area in Lakeville?
We do, yep. We offer electricity to Lakeville residents.
Okay, so you also provide additional funding to Citizens for Citizens out of Fall River because they cover Lakeville, and believe me, they appreciate it as much as we do. It's just so much easier when we can combine funds because sometimes we can then do a complete job when we have additional resources to add to what we have with federal funding.
Yeah, well, thank you. So we're in February now, and we're still kind of right in the middle of heating season. So I wanted to talk about some of the most timely services that South Shore Community Action offers right now.
So right now, I'd like to talk about fuel assistance. And this year, I like your little house with the scarf. That looks a little familiar. So we have fuel assistance going on right now, which is huge this year. They're giving, the maximum benefit is $2,200 to somebody that heats with a delivered fuel. And there are, you don't even have to come visit us anymore. You can apply online at sscac.org. We have a portal. And as soon as you open up our website, it brings you right to the link and you can click on that and apply. If you're not familiar with computers or you don't have access to a computer, you can call us at 508-746-6707 and we can do a phone application. If you were on the program in last year or the year before, we did mail you an application. If you've lost it, call us, we'll mail another one. But if you like to come see us, we are open to the public and we take applications Monday through Friday, 9 to 3:30. And we like to see everybody, but not everybody still likes to come see anybody with what's going on in life. The fuel assistance program over the last couple of years has enabled us, if you had additional funds to pay on your electric bill. You didn't even have to be behind on your electric bill. So that was a benefit to everybody that had a fuel source other than electric. We made an electric payment. We also, unfortunately, in Middleborough, you don't get a discount. If you're in another one of our service areas, you would get a discount from Eversource or NGrid. But with the money you give us for our other resources, it really balances out. We have an AMP program. So we have an appliance management program. That, again, I'm hoping that at some point we can get into the municipals. That's not offered right now through them because that's a fabulous program. The biggest thing we can do for Middleborough is the burner repair, the weatherization, and the fuel assistance. And it's never too late to apply for fuel because if you apply right now, our program ends for deliveries and usage April 30th. But if you apply right now and you're eligible, we'll retroactive back to November 1st. So you haven't lost out on any of the benefit for the heating season. You'll either get a credit with a utility company or a credit with your delivered fuel company. And if you did pay for it and they won't hold a credit, they'll reimburse you. So you haven't lost out. It's not too late to apply. It's really important with the cost of everything that you do apply, because we know how difficult it is to make ends meet nowadays.
Mhm. Yeah. And Mary Beth, specific to MGED customers, when they receive fuel assistance, how does it affect their bill or past due balances?
So the process, once they get approved, we get the approval. We then send the bills to South Shore. They cut us a check and it comes to us. So once we get that, it goes directly to the customer's account. And even if they have a credit now, it'll go on top of that credit. They don't lose their benefits just because they have a credit on their account.
And Mary Beth, when you say they have a credit, even if they've made payments from November on, it's really important to encourage everybody to apply, because we'll pay that November bill, we'll pay that December bill, we'll pay right up through the end of the program, even if the applicants already paid it. And then they will, if they don't have a credit, end up with a credit, which will help them through the summer months and the startup for next year.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
The guidelines are quite generous too. A lot of people in the past thought it was for low income people. For a family of one, you can make up to $42,411 for the year and still be eligible for the program. So it's not necessarily for low income people. I always encourage, especially the elderly, to apply. They think, oh my God, I'm not eligible. I my Social Security might be too much. It's not. If anybody thinks they might be eligible, please apply. Let us make the determination. Don't determine it for yourself because you might lose out.
Mm-hmm.
So Denise,
Mhm.
What about the renters that have their heat included?
So they're eligible, as long as they pay more than 30% of their income. They're eligible for the program also, and what we do for that, for the person with their heat included in the rent, we reimburse them. We reimburse them 40% of their rent up until the eligibility is spent if they get to that point. So from November to April, we would pay them, if it was $1,000, we would pay them $400 a month.
That's excellent. Good for people to know that.
Oh, that's really important. Thank you for bringing that up. A lot of people feel, well, I don't pay for my heat, so I'm not eligible. If somebody lives in a condo and they have a condo fee and it's included in the condo fee, that we pay that also. So always have people apply if they're unsure and let us make the determination, because somebody might say, oh, I'm not, when in fact they are. And we're
Mhm.
here to help everybody. And I know the last few years have been extremely difficult for people. And this year we have money, more so than most years. So this would be a good year for people to get on board and get caught up and get themselves out of, if they're in a hole, out of the hole.
And Denise, could you speak on the application process a bit, like what residents might need in order to apply?
Sure.
And is there any assistance available for the application process?
So as far as assistance for the application process, if they don't want to do it on the portal or they don't want to do it over the phone, they can do it at one of our volunteer sites, or they can come in person and we would help them fill out the application. They need, for starters, we need citizenship for everybody. And the reason why we need that is if somebody is not a citizen and they get assistance, and then they applied for citizenship, they would automatically not be denied because they took federal funds when they weren't a citizen. If they're a legalized alien, they're eligible, but they can't, but we need one of the two statuses to provide assistance to them. We need a head of household ID. We need address verification. We need gross income of the household. And when I say gross income, I'm the one thing that the elderly sometimes squabble about is I don't get the Medicare amount. Unfortunately, we have to put that into the income because it is gross income, but we count wages, child support, Social Security, pensions, VA, all incomes, rental income, self-employment income. If somebody has odd jobs, we have a form that they can fill out for their odd jobs to document their income. If anybody in the household is 18 or older and they have no income, we have forms for them to fill out. They are available on our website, which I'll repeat again, is sscac.org. Any of our forms are on there. That's the portal to apply if you want to apply, because you can do that 24/7, 7 days a week. If you're not sure if you completed it properly, you will get a phone call from the staff to go over the information and tell you what you'll need to supply if you don't have the ability to upload the documents. We also have an email address available, fuelassistance@sscac.org, that people can email information to us. That's available at all times. We have an IVR phone system, that the phone system at 24/7, they can call and find out information regarding the status of their application. What I do want to stress is this year was the perfect storm. We had an abundance of applications go out. We had an abundance of new people applying. Everything started late this year and it just went crazy. The guidelines state we have 45 working days to process an application. And I do stress that We do retroactive back to November 1st, and I always tell everybody, continue to pay your bills. You're not going to lose out. Don't stop paying in the event something happens and you're not eligible. Please continue to pay your bills. I know that people in the past used to apply and stop paying their bills. Don't do it. I encourage payment, even of any type, throughout the whole winter year.
Yeah. And that's a good segue into the next point. So, Mary Beth, for customers who may be struggling and feel like it's an uphill battle paying their bills, what should they do?
The most important thing is to reach out. They can call us, they can email us, they can even stop by the office. They can talk to any one of the customer service reps. We can try to tailor a plan for them that works for both of us. Usually our plans are take the arrearage, divide it by 4, 5, or 6 payments, and they pay that monthly plus their bill. And it would catch them up that way. Again, though, we will absolutely try to work within somebody's budget. You know, there's always exceptions.
Mhm. Okay, so I guess now we'll move on to the additional resources available through SSCAC. So those are things beyond fuel assistance.
So we will now talk about the hot wrap program, which is the heating system repair and replacement, and our weatherization program. These are fabulous slides, by the way. I don't know who did them, but this is awesome.
Thank you.
What I'd like to say is, if you apply for fuel assistance and you're potentially eligible for these other programs, and you do not need to fill out another application. Our fuel assistance application serves as an application for both of these programs. So then you would just have to call our agency and reach out to either our hot wrap department or our weatherization department. And weatherization is not an emergency-based program. So that's based on priorities, and the priorities are elderly, children under 6, combinations of both high energy burden. But I will say that with the extra monies, with what we receive from Middleborough, we are able to weatherize people that don't fall into any of those priorities. So that's a big help for a household that may need assistance and not be able to get it right away through the weatherization program. Mm-hmm. Which leads me to, we did get a big, we're coming into a bigger portion of weatherization funds because of COVID and all the bills that passed, and they should come into play into July. So the funds that we have, which are limited, because right now our program for the whole year for our whole service area, meaning Hingham Hull down to the bridge, is only 32 units, 32 homes. But with the new up and coming programs, we're going to be looking of double and triple in that, plus running our regular weatherization program hand in hand with it. So that's a good thing. So we're getting more money for that. We are also hiring. If anybody knows of anybody that wants a job working in weatherization, it is on our website, and we are hiring. You don't have to be fully certified. The right candidate we will train. So if you want to put that out to your town, anybody looking for a job. Heating system and repair, that's basically for homeowners, because in the state of Massachusetts, landlords are required to maintain heat in their homes that they rent. On special occasions, we can help a renter, but we do help homeowners repair and replace their heating systems if it's needed. And again, it's one application. It's a fuel assistance application, and that serves for all 3 programs.
Yeah. And just to touch on weatherization really quickly, especially in an area like Middleborough where many of the homes are older and probably likely don't have aren't weatherized up to today's standards. It can be one of the most important things in lowering your heating costs in the winter and your cooling costs in the summer. So if you think you're under insulated and under weatherized, or if you know you are, the first step would be getting a home energy audit. So that's through one of our partners, Energy New England. They'll take a look at your home. They're experts. They know what to look for, and they'll give you a comprehensive report of your home, and that includes weatherization and insulation. So definitely that's an important thing that customers should look into getting.
But if they're eligible for fuel assistance, they contact us because we do it for free.
Yeah.
And we can weatherize up to $10,000 worth in a home. So we can do quite a bit of work in a home.
And so just to remind everyone, we'll be showing all the contact information and resources again. After the webinar, I'll send out an email with all the resources again. But Denise, just to touch on it again, what's the best way to contact South Shore Community Action Council?
So the best way to contact South Shore Community Action Council for fuel assistance would be 508-746-6707. The best way to contact South Shore for burner repair or weatherization would be 508-747-7575, extension 6253.
Great, thank you. So now we're going to talk about some of the additional resources available in the area. We compiled the list a few months ago. We made it into a brochure that's available here in the office, and it's also available on our website at mged.com/resources. I'm sorry, mged.com/assistance. So we're going to move on to some of those additional available resources. So these are things for residents like seniors, veterans, family assistance, housing assistance, and food assistance as well. So I'll just touch on these. Like I mentioned, we'll follow up with an email that has all the contact information for these, and it's available on our website at mged.com/assistance. So in town here, we have the Council on Aging. So they provide information, services, programs, and activities for seniors, caregivers, and the wider community. There's also the Middleborough Veteran Services. So it's a state department, and it assists veterans and their eligible dependents that are in financial need. So the counterpart to South Shore Community Action Council, as Denise mentioned, is Citizens for Citizens. So Lakeville residents should reach out to Citizens for Citizens. They do the same thing for eligible households, fuel assistance, helping with past due balances. And Denise, do you know if they also do HARWAP and WAP programs?
Yes, they do.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, the other thing, I forgot one important thing that's happening this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a water sewer program going on this year. We got funds last year. They came in so late we couldn't expend them. So it's been extended till September 30th. And we are helping people with their water sewer bill. It was originally intended for people behind on their water or sewer bill or both. And then we found we weren't going to be spending it all. So we the state sent to the federal government and asked them to amend our plan. And I think this year, in addition to paying in for any bills behind, I think we're going to be able to pay a one-time flat fee of $400 towards a water sewer bill. So that's new and exciting for this year. I have just sent out a huge mailing to every homeowner. So everybody in Middleborough that's eligible for fuel will be receiving their letter so they can get the information to us so we can provide that service to them also.
Great, thank you for sharing that. So Lakeville also has a council on aging and veteran services, just like Middleborough does. There's also, here in Middleborough is the St. Vincent de Paul Society and Food Pantry. So they serve both Middleborough and Lakeville. And, you know, they take donations and they help those in financial need, and they'll also do the food pantry. And we've been working closely with them. We've been doing a gift certificate program. So customers who want to help out have the ability to donate a gas and electric gift certificate to the St. Vincent de Paul, and they'll redistribute them to customers in need, which has been a really nice program. Also locally, we have the Salvation Army, and they offer tons of different assistance, including food, disaster relief, assistance for the disabled, outreach to elderly and ill, and then clothing and shelter, and also opportunities for children. There's the Brockton Area Multi-Service, so BAMSI. So they're designed to help individuals and families struggling. They have a helpline, and they provide more than information and referrals. They advocate to help residents navigate towards different resources, kind of like the guide that we offered, but I would believe that BAMSI has a little bit of a wider reach than we do. So they're another good resource to look into. There's Catholic Charities South. They help families in crisis find stability and to rebuild their lives, providing emergency fuel, rental, and utility assistance. You know, and they'll offer assistance regardless of religious background and anything like that. There's the Department of Transitional Assistance, or the DTA, and they offer programs for individuals and families to help meet basic needs. And then for housing, there's South Shore has the HAF and RAFT program. So the Homeowners Assistance Fund is for homeowners to prevent mortgage delinquencies and defaults, foreclosures, loss of utilities or home energy services, and also helps prevent displacement. The RAFT program, or Residential Assistance to Families in Transition, provides short-term limited financial assistance to families, and a requirement is at least one child under the age of 21 who is homeless or at the risk of homelessness. And then another good resource is Mass 211, kind of like the resource guide that we put together, or like BAMSI. They've compiled a wide array of available assistance, and they have employees there that are looking to push you in the right direction and help you find the assistance you need. So I know that was a lot. Like I said, after the webinar, within the next few days, I'll share all the resources that we've talked about, as well as contact information and a brief write-up of what they provide. So now we're going to move into the Q&A portion. So if anyone has questions now, feel free to put them in the chat. I know we received one during the webinar. And I'd also like to thank everyone who submitted questions ahead of time. So somebody asked, do you need to apply for fuel assistance during heating season, or can you apply in advance? Also, how long is the approval process?
So if you've been, we opened up, the portal opened up this year on October 1st. So that was prior to the heating season. But if you're on the program, we'll mail applications out for the upcoming year, and we usually mail them in August. So they get them ahead of time because we send 10,000 out. So we need a little head start to get them processed. We have 45 working days to process an application. Some years it's quicker. This year we've been inundated. Our applications are up 17% over last year. And unfortunately, programming wasn't available until the end of August, so everything was late. So we are still diligently working, but if somebody applied in October and they didn't hear and it was November 15th and they were an emergency, they don't have to wait to hear from us. An emergency is an eighth of a tank or less, or a 72-hour termination notice, and the application will be processed right away. So even though we do have the 45 working days, if there is an emergency situation, it's handled right away.
Thank you. That's good to know. So then there's also some questions that we received ahead of time. This one's for the gas and electric specifically. Someone asked, when will rates drop to a more normal level? I can speak to that one. So our electric rate, which went up 1 cent in January, actually just got reduced at the beginning of February. So it's back to the normal amount. So it's right around 15 cents per kilowatt hour. For the gas rates, there are some things out of our control as far as, setting what the gas rate is. We're legally required to cover costs. So we're not just changing rates at a whim. But I do know that our general manager has spoken about lowering the rate in April, I believe. Nothing set in stone yet, but she's mentioned that actually at our bill and rates Q&A in January. Someone asked about MGED senior discount. So Mary Beth, would you be able to speak to that? Eligibility and what it
Sure.
offers?
So you can apply for a senior discount. It's an extra 5% off the energy rate. And you get a full 30 days to pay your bill. You never lose your discount. Easy to apply. You have to be 65 or over. And we just need a copy of an ID with a birth date on it.
Okay, very easy. So can customers call to apply, or at least for a little more information?
Oh, absolutely. Customers can call and we can, they don't have to come in to do this. We can email with them. We try to make it easy.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, there are a few questions we received that were more personal, relating to an individual situation. So I think what we'll do for those is reach out to the customer directly. I do have the emails that correlate with those.
Kyle, I have a question if you don't mind. I raised my hand.
I saw that. I wasn't sure if that was an accident or not.
No, that was me.
Very polite of you.
Mary Beth, does everybody in the household have to be 65 and older to get the senior discount?
At this time, no, we will honor a senior discount with the senior in the household.
And can they get the senior discount and also be on fuel assistance?
Yes, they can, absolutely.
Oh, really? See, now I learned something new. I can go home for the day. I've got my learn something new done. Thank you.
Okay, well, if no one else has any more questions, I'd like to thank everyone for attending, and Mary Beth and Denise, thank you for joining and, talking about your areas of expertise. I couldn't have done it without you. So yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up now. So thank you, everyone. And just a reminder, I'll send out a follow-up email later this week with the resources that we talked about and also a recording of the webinar.
Thank you.
Okay,
Have
thank you.
a good evening.
You
Take
too.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.